In this lecture, we will set up Visual Studio for web development. So open your favorite browser, and I generally prefer Google for searching anything. I will go ahead and type Visual Studio Express Edition for web, and you open the first link and go ahead and download this Community Edition 2015. Once it is downloaded, go ahead and start it. While it is starting, let me tell you a little bit about why are we using this Visual Studio. Actually, it is recommended by Microsoft for developing the ASP.NET applications because there are a lot of features that this provides, and I will show you all of them once it installs. So this window will pop up. You go to custom because we will not be using it for so many other purposes. We'll just use for web development. So go from custom and let it be tick marked Microsoft Web Developer Tools and click next. Install. It may show up something like this. Go ahead and press yes. Now it will take some time to finish the installation, so I'll pause the video. Welcome back. Now that our Visual Studio has finished installing itself, let's go ahead and launch it. It should show some screen like this. We'll wait for it to launch. It says the automatically saved setting is this. We'll go ahead and click OK. In your case, it might not show up. There you go. So the welcome screen will be something like this. Now let's go ahead and create first a project so that I can explain you what exactly it looks like, since we will be developing the website. So go ahead and file, new website. And select Visual C# because that's the primary language we'll be working with. And in my case, I will give it a name, Test Visual Studio. And this is the default path which Visual Studio suggested me to save, and I would keep it the same. Hit OK. So now we have our first screen in front of us. So this is the Solution Explorer. Whatever files you add into your website, it will show up here. This is the Properties window. Whichever control, for example, any text box you add to your web page, it has some property, so all those properties will be shown up here. And this is the output. Since this is just a website, it will just be a website, so it will show up if the website build failed or succeeded. And this is Server Explorer. Server Explorer basically means that if you have some server, for example, if you're working in a company, you may have several servers and you can connect to them. So this is a place to connect to those. And Toolbox, it doesn't show up anything right now because we don't have any web page. Visual Studio automatically detects what tools are available for what kind of pages. For example, let me show you. If you go ahead and right click on it and go on to add new item and click on web form, let it be the same because we are not gonna write any code right now. Just go ahead and hit add. We wait for it. Now something like this is shown. Now if you go to Toolbox, see all the tools which can be added to this page is shown there, right? Let's go ahead between these div tag and take a button, double click on it, and it will show up here. Now here you have three mode. One is just the source. Second, the split. Whatever you write the HTML code here, it would show up live here, somewhat like Dreamweaver if you have worked in that. And this is the design mode. If you want to see that in full screen, it will show up here. I prefer the split mode, but when we know that we have to write certain piece of code, we always go for source. That's all for this lecture. We'll be discussing more about the several features of Visual Studio later in this course.